Good afternoon, my friends. You're probably asking yourselves why I am wearing this hat. Many people have recommended me not to use it, that it's ridiculous, that it's not funny, that I look ridiculous. But there are two reasons why I'm using it. First one is that we are going to be having the World Cup of Soccer in the next few months, and it's going to be held in Russia. And the second one is that I'm going to be talking about a comedy that took place in Russia. So that is why comedy makes people laugh, and I hope this is funny. Maybe it's not, maybe it's only ridiculous, but I had to do it. Okay, I'm going to talk about a movie. This is a very short review about a movie called The Death of Stalin. Stalin, this huge dictator Russia had during the decades of 1930, 1940, and 1950 in Russia. He died in 1953. And he was an Iron Man. He was very strong. He had everyone afraid of him. His collaboration team and all the people in Russia, because he had many executions. He executed the people close to him and his enemies. So nobody was very sure of what will happen with him in Russia. And suddenly he dies. He passed away, surprisingly, unexpectedly. And the people around him don't know how to react. So they show us in this black comedy, this is a satire, but it's black humor, the reaction of the people around him when he passed away. And it's really funny. The first thing is when he dies, after reading, it's not when he dies, when he gets a stroke after reading a note from a pianist. It's very funny because you don't expect such a powerful man to have a stroke and crumble in that way while reading a note. So that happens, and then starts the funniest part of the movie, which is the reaction of the top politic bureau of Russia, or not Russia, the Soviet Union at that time, reacting and knowing how to react. You have to understand the environment. It's a society where people are afraid of the terror of the dictatorship, not only the people in the country, but the people around the dictator. So they became very rigid, very inelastic, and they don't know how to react due to the bureaucracy. So they don't even know how to call a doctor when this poor guy is dying. He had a stroke, he's in bed, and they have to hold a council of ministers to decide on which doctor to call, because all the good doctors had been either imprisoned or were executed. So that is very funny. Also, the way that his family reacts, his son, his daughter, everything, it's ridiculized in a very funny way, and it makes you see that this so-called very strong and authoritarian power at the end of the day looks ridiculous. And it looks ridiculous because they grow this type of power because they are afraid. They want to have secrecy, they want to have everything behind the scenes because they're afraid of the people that could react against them. So once they have to face an unexpected situation, the system is not elastic enough to have a consistent reaction. So all these funny things happens, including the scenes of the funeral, everything, while Mr. Malenkov is appointed as the successor of Stalin. But there is a dispute going on between Khrushchev and Mr. Beria to take over and replace Malenkov. Everybody knows it. Everybody in the theater and in the movie knows it, except Malenkov. And that is also something that it's managed in a very, very humoristic way. Finally, Khrushchev gets his way, and he becomes the successor of Malenkov and of Stalin, and everybody knows this. This is historical facts. And the end of the movie is not that funny. That scene when finally Khrushchev takes over and he executes Beria and deports the family of Stalin, it's a little bit strong, but it's the end of the movie, and you finally see what's going on. One important thing to note is that, yes, Khrushchev made it to power because he got the support of the army. If he hadn't had that support, it would have been impossible for him to get to power. Final note. This is a comedy, it's a satire, but it amazingly resembles the reality of Venezuela. And now this is no joke. What went on in Venezuela when dictator Chavez died, was very similar to what happens in the movie. What happens is that the movie is a joke, it's a satire. What happens in Venezuela is reality. The roles played by Maduro and Diosdado Cabello are very similar to the roles played by Malenkov and Khrushchev. The Cabello thought Maduro was Malenkov and that he was going to be the Venezuelan Khrushchev, and he didn't count on the situation that Maduro wasn't as stupid as he believed or as stupid as Malenkov. That's one thing. The other thing is the family. Yes, the family of Hugo Chavez was trouble for the new dictator, the same as it happened in Russia. So that's why in the Soviet Union, Khrushchev got rid of the family of Stalin. In Venezuela, they couldn't do that. The family of Chavez is still very influential, but it's the same situation with the family. So my final words are words of hope that these situations don't repeat again. It's horrible for a country to be deprived of democracy, to be held hostage by a dictator, to be unaware of the truth, and to be at risk of the army and the police of their own country attacking them. In this movie, you can see a scene where 1,500 Soviets or Russians are killed by the army. Venezuela is not far away from that. So my final hopes, as I say, is for this never to happen again in any country. Not Venezuela, not the United States, not Ecuador, not Colombia, anywhere. This shouldn't be happening in our world. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you see the movie and enjoy it. It's really funny and it has very good lessons because it's not only a joke. It has some historic background that will teach you very good lessons, as it taught me very good lessons today. Also, my last recommendation, if you like this video, if you have seen my recipes, if you have seen my videos on sports and other movies and other situations, subscribe to my channel so you will be notified of my new videos and you will get to see them and share your comments and maybe give them a like. So please, when you see this video in YouTube, look at the sign that says subscribe and give it a click there so you can be notified of my new productions. Thank you so much. I hope to see you soon again, and I hope you enjoyed this. See you soon.